Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Smith.
And I am Spicy. Brad has enlisted us to say a few words. Bold strategy right out of the gate for a newly married man.
I've known Brad for 23 years or so.
And I've known him for about 18.
Oh, you miss frosted tip bread?
I did miss Frosted Tips Brad, sadly. But I was there for Brad that thought it was a good idea to use whiteout instead of eye black to play inter-hall football. So, Aaron, you did a good job waiting until that cake baked a little longer until you crossed paths.
We'd first like to acknowledge that Brad has been raised by two wonderful parents. We're very glad you're both here. He is the man he is because of their love and devotion.
In many ways, we are who we are as a result of our friendships with Brad. So, Mr. and Mrs. B, if there's one thing I want you to walk away knowing, it's that you bear some responsibility for who we are. And that's something to remember next time you're in the confessional.
We'd also like to give a tip of the cap to Brad's long-suffering older and wiser sister, Kristen. You have always been kind and generous with us, and we thank you. Now back to Brad. It can be difficult to distill 40 combined years of knowing someone into just a few minutes in front of his friends and family, old and new.
Where do we begin? Brad was a precocious young lad whose stated goals early in life were, and I quote, creating a universal language and becoming president. We can safely say that those ambitions slowly crept downward as we became better friends.
And we're not sorry for that. But hey, you became the chief fun officer of a company before you turned 35 and are marrying a girl that is a better athlete than you. Those are two great squares to fill on the bingo card.
As Sean and I discussed this day in this speech, one common theme we kept coming back to is that some of our greatest memories and adventures are a result of Brad.
From a bar serving steak and vodka, neat at 5 a.m. in Frankfurt,
to ordering South Bend's finest tequila found in a plastic bottle, also neat and possibly microwaved at 2:30 a.m. in the back room.
From late night conversations with the rectress of Farley and an officer of the law,
to handing in performances at Notre Dame tailgates that made Brewer patriot Paul Hum nod in approval.
For a self-proclaimed introvert, he has the ability to make what would have been just another night into something memorable. He truly is down for anything and always pushing to try new things.
This is something we've come to see in Erin as well. She dives right in. When Brad suggested a romantic vacation to Europe, how could she say no? Scotland? What's more romantic than haggis and deep-fried Mars bars?
I like to think that when Brad suggested that their first romantic trip out of New England be to a graveyard, that she knew he was the one. Whether you knew if he was the one, that was when I was convinced you were the one. It takes a big heart to say yes to that invitation. I'm very appreciative.
A lot of people believe that a wedding speech is a great place to launch a career in stand-up or list a bunch of inside jokes that no one else gets.
And luckily, we're looking to do both tonight.
Absolutely correct. But this was quite the leap of faith, handing a microphone to Sean and me on the most important day of his life to date and saying, have at it, boys.
Where was your wrist team on this one, Brad?
But he did it because we've seen things and we know things. We both did tours of duty as Brad's roommate. We can confirm positive traits. He is an incredibly thoughtful listener and the epitome of reliability. He's always ready to dive into any situation with people he cares about, even if it's outside his comfort zone.
Just think back when he and Erin first started dating during the pandemic. When she wanted to go on walks, our Romeo would throw on his hazmat suit and accompany her through the city for walks, 6 feet apart.
Tale as old as time.
The story gets long. When I was suggesting running with the Bulls in Pamplona, Brad didn't miss a beat and got down to planning. Cindy was also there. When my girlfriend at the time, she does prefer the term wife now, invited me to celebrate her sister's wedding and birthday in Beaver Creek, Colorado, I had to turn it down. The trip was already planned. I'll quickly snap past the Calamochos, Amy Winehouse's last individually canceled concert, and Hemingway's favorite Donna Kebab spot, to get to the purpose of the trip, surviving the goring and the trampling. The day before we ran, we went to scope out the run. Ever the planner, he was there, crack of dawn. Turns out, bulls are pretty big and fast. Undeterred, we got a solid 4 hours of sleep, because that's all you need in your 20s. And as we waited for the bulls just past La Curva del Hombre Muerto, whatever that means, runners trickled by us, all the while Brad stared and said, "Hold, hold." That was until a 1-ton bull went careening full speed into the barrier at the turn and focused his gaze upon us. Go was all I needed to hear. We quickly lost one another in the shuffle, jumping over people and hugging the wall to avoid the sharp ends before I felt someone crash into my back and yell, "Freedom! America!" We were rewarded with bags of wine soon thereafter, another treasure for 20-somethings.
I could regale everyone with some stories, but our time is getting short, and I can't really compete with running with bulls. Instead of picking one, I figured I would just list the things Brad has agreed to enthusiastically participate in through the years. The Beer Masters, the Gallon Milk Challenge, a road trip to Windsor, Canada, which at age 20 sounds exotic and fun, and at age 37 sounds like punishment for a crime. A dodgeball team, Bikram yoga, living with Blair. A kickball team, tailgates in the shadow of Touchdown Jesus, where the shotgun started before dawn. SantaCon, a tailgate in Miami where people spent much of the day standing on the roofs of cars that weren't theirs, and the rest of the day ignoring the guy asking for money because he didn't have insurance on the rental car with the caved-in roof. Trolley gates in New York City that started in Manhattan, ended in the Bronx, and for Brad somehow continued on to Brooklyn. Trips to watch pathetic basketball teams like Boston College, and trips to watch iconic hockey teams like the New York Islanders.
Go Owls!
Aaron, you already know this and have seen this, but whatever it is you want to do in life, whether it is important or whether it is trivial and fun, Brad will enthusiastically support it and want to be a part of it. You have hit the jackpot in terms of a caring husband. He will put a smile on your face in any way possible, to the point where he's discussed carrying maple syrup around like Buddy the Elf, so you don't have to subject yourself to whatever people in the Midwest call syrup.
His friends are part of the package too. In times of crisis, we'll be by both of your sides.
And as you'll see tonight, when it's time to celebrate and raise a glass, we will not let you down.
Brad has been a part of unforgettable events in our life for the last 20 years, and we could not be more excited to see what unforgettable adventures you guys have in the future.
Congratulations to you both. Thank you to both of your families for raising such amazing people and hosting this wonderful weekend.
I want to echo Spice and say thank you to both of the families and a wonderful weekend, and congratulations. We love you both. So please raise your glasses.
And go Irish.
Go Irish.
Sean and Matt, everybody, let's hear it. Yeah. Well done, gentlemen. And next, we'd like a few words from one of Aaron's close friends, Miss Christine McGrail, ladies and gentlemen.